Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, the federal government set to spend over 20 billion naira in rebuilding the Northeast. President Buhari inaugurates committee to coordinate reconstruction of areas devastated by Boko Haram. Secretary to the Government of the Federation dismisses claim of presidency hijacked by individuals with selfish motives. Insists the anti-corruption war is not a witch hunt. The People's Democratic Party's factions remain divided over choice of candidates in the November Ondo State governorship election. An airstrike in a rebel-held village in northwestern Syria kills more than 20 people, including school children.
On Business News tonight, PricewaterhouseCoopers releases new report on measuring human capital development in Nigeria.
And on Sports News tonight, Court of Arbitration for Sport extends doping ban on Chicago and Boston Marathon champion Rita Jepto.
And from Abuja, I am Ibrahim Adra. Electoral Institute makes case for smart card reader. Ask Independent National Electoral Commission to sustain use of the device in future elections.
We begin tonight with the effort towards the rebuilding of the Northeast, and all things being equal, 23 billion naira is to be spent in the reconstruction projects in the coming months. This was made known today at the inauguration of the Presidential Committee on the Northeast, where it was also revealed that a total of 50 billion naira was pledged by donors for the region. President Muhammadu Buhari told the committee members, led by retired General Theophilus Danjuma, that the responsibility of the committee is to coordinate, rebuild and reconstruct areas devastated by Boko Haram insurgents. Our State House correspondent, Chukwuma Onekusi, reports.
The devastation to human and material resources by Boko Haram in the Northeast has been described as enormous. At the last count, more than 2 million people were displaced, while property worth billions of naira were destroyed. President Muhammadu Buhari says though there have been intervention efforts nationally and internationally, this committee should coordinate the reconstruction efforts now that Boko Haram has been decimated.
The committee is domiciled in the presidency and is charged with responsibility for developing the strategy, implementation framework for rebuilding Northeast region. The Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative will not exist in perpetuity or isolation. Rather, it will exist for a period of 3 years, where after it is envisaged that a long-term regional development framework or entity may be established.
That the Northeast is in a precarious situation is not new to the committee members, chaired by General T.Y. Danjuma.
Everyone has a role to play.
He is concerned even some of the pledges made for the rehabilitation of the IDPs in the Northeast are yet to be redeemed.
We raised 50 billion naira at that fundraising, but in the event, only 23 billion was redeemed. We have the list of those who made pledges. We will not embarrass them.
Many concerned Nigerians have been looking forward to this opportunity.
We thank God for this occasion. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the Northeast, we thank you very much.
Away from the inauguration, those governors in the eye of the storm react.
A very good day for the Northeast, a very good day for Nigeria. We cannot but thank the President for this beautiful initiative, which we believe will transform the Northeast sub-region into a habitable place for the 2.5 million IDPs that we have.
This is the last stroke, and I can assure you the people of our zone will be very happy. And this committee, as you can see, the chairman of the committee is a man of integrity.
The committee believes that rebuilding the Northeast is a task that must be done. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
The anti-corruption fight of the Buhari administration is not a witch hunt. It's rather targeted at those responsible for Nigeria's economic woes. That's coming from the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babachir Lawal, who said the revelations about the high level of corruption in the country cannot be wished away, insisting that no one is above the law. Speaking during an interview with Channels Television, Mr. Lawal also dismissed the claim that the presidency has been hijacked by a few individuals with selfish agenda.
I'm honored to be a cabal in this presidency. I have no apologies to make. If the president decides that, well, he wants a secretary to the government who is going to work with him, who will coordinate activities of his government, who will give him advice, Obviously, that man should be able to have unfettered access to the president. He's supposed to be able to give advice to the president because he's with the president on a daily basis in a manner that others might not have.
It's running to 2 years now. Are you still comfortable with the fact that this administration is still running the blame agenda and still talking about the past?
Could we have known, for example, that somebody can walk into Central Bank, reverse his boots, and leave with $2.2 billion of raw cash? Could we have known that somebody sitting on government, the trust of the people, will sit down and embezzle $40 billion? Look at the type of money they are dispatching. So we keep quiet and let Nigerians say everything is okay, that there was no looting, that we are in the position we are because people that came before us preferred to carry our common patrimony and put it in their deposit accounts for their wives and children. What type of country are we if we decide to play the ostrich? Nigerians must be told what we inherited and what we are saying, and majority of Nigerians, I can assure you, are in favor of what the government is doing. Of course, quite a few that were beneficiaries of this looting will make noise. A majority of them have access to the papers, they have the internet, they have the stolen wealth is what they are using. We are chasing thieves. We are chasing people who took away government money, our money, who impoverished us, who put us in a condition in which now you are accusing the government of.
For the full interview with the SGF, watch Question Time. It airs tomorrow, Thursday, right here on Channels Television at 4:30 p.m. on the DSTV platform, channel 254, and at 2:30 on the UK channel 24 on B-Sky B575. We'll stay with economic crime. There was drama at the Federal High Court in Lagos following the hearing of a case bordering on fundamental human rights filed by wife of former President Mrs. Patience Jonathan against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Though she was not in court, her supporters are said to have stormed the premises in protest at EFCC's allegations against her. The EFCC had last month frozen the bank accounts of the former First Lady over corruption allegations amounting to $31.4 million. A bit of politics now. The Edo State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Benin City, the state capital, has granted an ex parte motion filed by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Osage Ize Iyamu, and his party for the use of substitute service for the respondents in the case. Counsel to the petitioner, Kingsley Obamagir, and the PDP spokesperson in the state explained that the order is necessary to fast-track proceedings as the APC is trying to frustrate the entire court process.
It's another session for the Edo Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Lawyers for the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its governorship candidate Pastor Osagie Yamu prepare to file an ex parte motion for substituted service on the respondents Godwin Obaseki and the All Progressives Congress (APC). They got answers to their prayers as the tribunal led by Justice A. Badamosi granted the application. Speaking after the ruling, counsel to the petitioner Kingsley Obamuge says the decision is a step in the right direction.
If you go there now, it is under lock and key. It's been changed. There is even no security man present in the secretariat. And so we couldn't serve them at the secretariat. And the only option left to us was to come to the tribunal to obtain an order that we serve them by pasting notice of the petition on the gate of the party secretariat. And that we intend to carry out today. It's in accordance with the order of the tribunal. And if they enter appearance, we will serve them through their counsel. If they don't, we execute the order of the tribunal and proceed with the petition.
The PDP spokesperson Chris Nehai claims that the APC wants to stall the judicial process.
We are determined to have the stolen mandate returned and Pastor Zamu sworn in as governor. It may take time, it may take 6 months, 7 months, but the truth is the mandate will be returned and the people will get the governor they voted for.
Following the court order, the substituted service is carried out as notices are seen pasted on the gates of the APC Secretariat along Airport Road, Benin City. The Publicity Secretary of the APC, Godwin Around, dismisses the claims of the PDP.
We are ready as a party to get all the processes because we believe that we can defend our case. And therefore, I still don't believe that the reason for the closure of the Secretariat is as a result of attempts to evade service.
The Edo Election Petition Tribunal will continue to be in the spotlight as it decides the fate of the September 28, 2016 governorship election in Edo State.
Meanwhile, ahead of the Ondo State governorship election next month, the two factions from the People's Democratic Party have been mounting pressure on the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize their candidates. The faction of the embattled national chairman of the PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sharif, and that of the party's caretaker committee chairman, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, insists that their candidates must be listed for the poll. However, the Independent National Electoral Commission has described the situation as unfortunate and dangerous for democracy.
It's a month to the Ondo State governorship elections and barely 24 hours to the publication of the names of candidates for the elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Supporters of the People's Democratic Party faction, led by Senator Ali Modu Sharif and that of Senator Ahmed McCarthy, are yet to come to agreement on who will represent the party in the forthcoming elections in the state. While members of Senator Ali Modu Sharif faction at this news conference are asking INEC to recognize their candidate, those belonging to the Ahmed McCarthy faction of the PDP insist that INEC must recognize their own candidate.
We are not asking for any favor for our candidate, Barrister Juma Ibrahim, but we are also putting INEC on notice that we will do everything within the ambit of the law to defend the right of our party, not only our party, but also the right of our candidate.
Having studied the laws and all the authorities with regards to this issue, that Eita Ojagede, SAN, should be the rightful candidate of the party. Everything points in that direction. And so without taking a bias.
At a meeting with members of the civil society groups on Tuesday, the INEC Director of Voters Education expressed concern over the development, describing the situation as dangerous for democracy.
It's only where laid-down procedures have not been followed that the courts or judicial umpires will come and intervene. Just like the leadership crisis in the PDP, very often we are faced with conflicting court orders. Court order says, court order A says do this. Court order B says I restrain you from doing that. We're at a very dangerous position where litigants are being allowed to choose which court order to obey and which to disobey or to disregard.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is yet to publish the list of candidates for the governorship election in Ondo State. Political observers, however, are watching to see if the electoral body will be swayed by the pressures from either of these groups.
In part 2 after the break, Electoral Institute makes case for smart card reader, asks Independent National Electoral Commission to sustain the use of the device in future elections. Please join us again.